What are we doing, Seth?
Hey, did you guys see that video on BET Awards? That video was awesome. You know, in this program, we celebrate good things. We just not going to be focusing on only negativity, but issues all around. That guy is taking it to the next level when it comes to music and entertainment all over the world. Who knew that was coming 20 years ago? Good improvement in that sector. Burna Boy, same thing. I have this Bahamas friend. The way he was singing the lyrics to Burna Boy's song, I don't know whether I should feel proud. I don't know whether I should feel good. I mean, can you imagine people singing to your song, that don't have a clue what they're even saying? What are we doing, Seth? But again, this is just to show the awesomeness of these dudes. Baby Calm Down thing was calming down the whole crowd, jam-packed stadiums, event centers, you name it, all over the world. New York, jam-packed, the Burna Boy. Awesome. Awesome. Really makes me feel good. Not just as a Nigerian, but as a Black African, American. As long as you're Black, right? Just the culture, everything. That's great, isn't it? You know, sometimes you wonder, say, okay, these dudes, some of them are lucky, fortunate to be in a wealthy family. They fulfill their dreams, go out there, fulfill their talents and get the best. Others fulfill it as well, but in other ways, they didn't really come out from it like a wealthy family and all of that. They took all the steps, the good, the bad, the ugly of it, but they went on top of the mountain, they conquered. All right? Now, in that situation, we can all relate to that for the most part, right? But you wonder, when all these guys go out to try to put a good name to a nation, then you look at who are those ruling the nation? Who are those in leadership of those nations? Especially African nations. Why? Why is it that the youths, which these leaders will say they are the leaders of tomorrow in that country, which they are not, for the most part, it seems it's just a phrase or a sentence they use to deceive, because most of the youths are out there in other countries, developing other countries. There's nowhere in the world you will see a Nigerian. There's nowhere in the world excelling, doing whatever to survive. The talent is out there and all of that. You see, you accept the successes of these folks in as much as, in fact, where they come from, there's so much talent, there's so much there, they just don't know how to harness it. The platform is not there. The government is what I'm talking about. What are we doing, Seth? Okay? These guys go out there to try the good name of where they're coming from by showing their skills legitimately, their talents for the most part, and making the best of it, putting the name on the mountain. Everybody can see that, wow, because of them, they are hearing of a country they've never heard of. In good light, you want to say. But when you now go to that country, you now hear and see something different from the leadership, from their history and everything to the trend. They seem to create this cult, so to speak, in a nation, and they just rotate themselves. They keep being in power rotationally, as if it's just like a private property, to the detriment of the people all the time. Okay, for example, look at what is happening in Niger, war-torn country. Sudan, war-torn. Okay, in Nigeria went through a time where there was so much coup. Now you now came into transitioning into democratic, you think, elected folks. Still the same people coming around doing the same thing to the detriment of. I don't even know why they call their citizens masses. Maybe that will be a story for another day. Because I don't see why you can be calling. What is the mentality of calling your fellow citizens masses? That is derogatory, to say the least. Fellow citizens, that's what you call them. Give them some pride. When you say masses, what's it? No, I don't want. What are we doing, Sam? I don't agree to that at all. You don't call a fully blown person that is a citizen of that country, paying his or her taxes, working so hard, trying to make the best of his or her life for himself, herself, and her family, and you call him or her the masses. No. Fellow citizens is more dignified. What do you think? Put it in your comments, let me know. I don't agree at all calling people masses. No, it just makes you have this negativity mindset of yourself, a letdown of yourself by your leaders. Now, these same leaders, they will not call their own son or their children part of the masses. They won't say that, no, right? But you can call other people's children and their parents and all of that masses. And you're supposed to be the leader of that country. How do you inspire the next generation? By the words you say and by the actions that you take, right? Apparently, lots of the leaders in many African nations, even in the Caribbean, they don't see it like that. It's all about them and them alone, all right? Now, I was talking about Niger and Sudan, and all of those nations that are going through this subjective thinking, leadership ruling countries, and they don't care about the citizens. Now, look at Nigeria, for instance. They went through an election that sounded as if it was promising. A lot of them, especially in Africa, West and East Africa, it's never been fair. I'm not saying that there's a perfect election anywhere. All nations have their issues, but it's very peculiar, very, very peculiar, very, very intense in negativity. When I mean intense, not in a good way, coming from some countries like Nigeria, right? You don't seem to see the best coming out as candidates. When they lie and get into power, they just say and do whatever they like. I didn't want to talk about this politics thing, but folks are like saying I should chip in. Okay, fine. I always believe that as a leader, you are a visionary person. When you have a plan, you have a plan B, just in case. It has been very consistent. When leaders come, they don't have a plan B. They just say plan A, they mess up, and everybody just move on like that. In Nigeria, where the government said, okay, no more subsidies. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians don't even know exactly what subsidies mean. Over the years, there has always been subsidies. I understand the fact that people in leadership, they use that word to, perpetuate a lot of nonsense for their own pockets. Okay, this leader comes in and says, and I'm not against him, I'm just talking about the actions. Okay, so you come in, you say no more subsidy, fine. So that there will be more, competitiveness, more transparency, and there will be more money, funds where they can use to develop and the country and all of that. Good words, good stuff. Okay, so in the process of doing that, do you have a plan B? Because now that there is no subsidy, a lot of the inflation went skyrocket and everything, the way of life, you name it, people are practically begging to survive. What was the cushioning effect? What was the plan B? So in the process of you trying to do this, it will cushion the pressure, the economy to a large extent. Was there a plan B? Maybe there's something I'm missing here, guys. If you know you can relate to this, wherever you are, please write. Wouldn't you think for a leader to make a drastic change in an economy, there must be a plan B to cushion the effect on the people? Does that make sense? You tell me. Hey, because I don't know. Now, apart from that, you say, okay, you want to send palliative. You now send like about 5 billion to each state as palliative. I don't know what that means. You send some kind of money to each state. Is that not another avenue to just put to make the money disappear? And don't you come back and start telling us snake ate the money, because there was a time that happened. Yeah. If you guys go back to one of my videos where somebody was arraigned to give accountability of how some huge sums of money disappeared where they kept it. Public money, and the one in charge was saying, oh, it was eaten up by snakes. What are we doing, Sam? I know it sounds crazy, but it actually happened. So in this case, you're sending about 5 billion to each state of the country, and you wanted that to be spread as palliative to them. Do you know 5 billion? If you put that together, how many states do we have in it? All right, you tell me. All right, and you add those together, it could build a refinery. It could build infrastructures that could actually make lives of people better. But you want to use it as palliative. What are we doing, sir? There's no accountability, nothing. Talking about sending trailer load of bags of rice to each state. I mean, I really don't get it. The decisions that the president should take in a country in a wealthy country that is filled with so much mineral resources, human and otherwise, all right? And yet you don't know what to do. I don't get it, all right? So these are the things I'm talking about. You see youths going out there. I was telling you, if you watch one of my last videos where you saw young guys going through a boat, they hid in the boat to leave the country so that they can move with the boat illegally out of the country. People are desperate to leave. Why? They want to survive so much that they are risking their lives to just get out of that. How can it be that bad? What is the leadership doing Year in, year out, it's the same thing. So I think I'm just saying all of this because, like I said, I didn't really want to go into talking about politics because it's just so dirty. There's no transparency, no accountability, and you keep hearing huge figures of, in terms of money being used for something that will benefit the people. 50 billion naira, 50 trillion, but you keep hearing it every year, but you don't see it anywhere. Then you come back and tell us that snakes eat the money. It's ridiculous. Okay? So leadership in these countries, you need to wake up. Folks are beginning to realize this. They can't take it anymore. And I'm just coming here to just say it's okay. It's time that we just try to make things work. Okay? And let everybody be happy and be happy as citizens, not as masses. What are we doing, sir? Okay? So it's time that if you know you are capable of being a leader, you have to show it in your antecedents, in your history, all right? In what you do, what you are known for. There should be something that is called integrity to be a president of a country. Somebody that knows what he's going to do, says it, and actually does it. Because everything you do ripples to the next person, all right? In this case, when you are riddled in corruption and you are giving an example of how leadership looks like, that is what the youths know. That is what they see. They will think it's normal, but it's not. Is it? Because right now, most of our African countries are in a mess because of leadership. The youths that could lead the country are out there. I just mentioned some of them now, in the entertainment industry. They are the ones that are actually leading by example. They are showing the way, paving the way, working hard, showing the skills the way it should be, and portraying the country as good. But the country that is being led by leaders, by so-called leaders, are not painting the country as good. You tell me. I don't know. Okay? All right? Well, again, I just thought I should drop this there. Give me your thoughts. Because I always say most of the countries all over the world that are led by Africans or black people, those countries don't develop. They've not developed yet. In the Caribbean, there's no developed country. There's no developed black nation on earth right now. You ask yourself that question. Why? What is the fundamental issue here? Is it that we don't like each other that much? Is it you see leaders taking huge amount of money in billions, only for them to take it out and use it in another country that don't need it. How do you explain that? So I just have to just drop that there. It's time, wherever you are, whether you are in Asia or wherever in Africa, in the Caribbean, is this thing peculiar to your government? Let us know. What are your issues? Is it peculiar to what I'm talking about? I know there's corruption everywhere. Go out to Venezuela and all of that. I know they are not blacks like that, but hey, it's close. I'm just saying, okay? But again, these are countries that have so much. Why are they not developing? Is there a problem? Is it because of Western influence, you think, that is deciding how they live their lives? Or blacks just don't like it, unfortunately. Drop your comments, let me know. This is a little bit touchy, but you see, you have sometimes have to hit the nail on the head. That is why I said, I think there's a problem. Do you think there is one? Do you know the reasons why this is happening? Can you relate to it? What's your comment? Let me know. Give a thumbs up as well as we move on, all right? And don't forget to share. It's always good to share. I'll give a thumbs up as well. It helps the algorithm. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me again. Hey, if you remember what are we doing, sir? This is the platform. This is where we just voice out what we are thinking, the good, the bad, the ugly, of how blacks can move successfully, how our culture can transcend beyond the ordinary. That's as how we can look at each other and say, I can help you, you can help me. That's the way it should be. Other cultures are doing it. Why can't we? All right? Drop comments. I appreciate it. We'll talk again. If you have any issues or any topic you would like us to talk about, drop on the comments. We just might take it on. Always remember, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. Talk to you soon, folks. Bye-bye.
What are we doing, Seth?